on this computer. Good morning, Kirsten. How are you today?
Very well, thanks, Nick.
Okay, so we're here with my friend Kirsten Brown and my colleague, of course, to talk about the Peri Project and perimenopause and how we're featuring it at the Virtual Pilates Summit in a few weeks. Kirsten, what is perimenopause?
What is perimenopause?
Yeah.
Perimenopause is that transition time before menopause. So menopause is 12 months after you had your last period. Perimenopause is the transition time up until menopause. So that can actually start anywhere from your late 30s and run for as many as 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long transition.
That is. And a lot of what we talk about as menopause, you know, the sweats, the weight gain, all the delightful things, that's perimenopause in action as well as menopause.
Right. So I guess how could understanding what is perimenopause and the changes to the body, how could that actually help someone going through it?
Yeah, well, what we've, so the Peri Project is a collaboration between Janice Wilson, who's the owner of Pilates studio Super Movement, Renee Irvine, who's a naturopath, and myself. And what we've noticed is how poorly understood perimenopause is in the Australian context. And we see Pilates studios as a really critical gateway for conversations about health.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone who teaches in a Pilates studio or you own a Pilates studio, knowing how to notice that your clients might be experiencing perimenopause and then understanding how to open up a helpful conversation about that, we think is going to be really valuable.
Right.
Because I have to say, in my own circle of friends and in my own experience, that term perimenopause, you know, I can still speak to my mates and they don't know what that is. And they're women with perimenopausal bodies.
Right.
So, yeah, we've heard about menopause, you know, that's way over there somewhere. But perimenopause is just not really talked about.
Yeah. And as we know, lots of parts of the lifespan are concentrated on you know, puberty, childbirth if it's in your wheelhouse, or the end stage, grandma. But there's a big chunk that we don't talk about. Firstly, we don't know much about, which seems to me that means we could help people a lot more if we knew what was going on and what they might be experiencing.
Yes. Yeah. So what we'll be talking about is absolutely what is perimenopause? What are some of the impacts, not just physical, but what are some of the psychological challenges of experiencing perimenopause, particularly when women have quite compressed and busy lives these days. Sure. Once upon a time, you might have had your children quite early. If you have children, I don't have children. And then by the time you got to that perimenopausal, menopausal point, they'd be all grown up and off doing their thing. These days, people have often got a couple of quite young ones in tow while they're trying to manage this massive transition for themselves.
Yeah. Well, especially if someone starts a family later than what used to happen. There's that massive overlap, which could be pretty overwhelming to be recovering from being a new mother and new parent, and all of these biological things that are happening.
Yeah. And there are a lot of changes that do happen to your body, which do impact then how you might show up in your fitness classes, including Pilates.
Yeah. And I think certainly not to speak for my colleagues, and certainly not from the privileged position of being men, but I can see how many of my colleagues are in the age range that are likely to experience this, and of course in a positive way, how that will impact their clientele and community if they're able to, as you say, act as a gateway and share their knowledge in their scope of practice. So I'm really excited about this workshop, and
so are we.
I'll be doing my best not to talk.
No, we welcome talking. We welcome talking. We welcome questions.
Great.
Certainly the feedback we've had from our retreats, because we do retreats, information sessions, all sorts of
Right.
things. The feedback has been the value of connection, and we hope it's going to be the same at the Pilates Summit.
Oh, me too.
Mm.
I feel just a little bit strange about not having ovaries and participating in this conversation, but I am really, really interested, and I probably will have questions because often women's health is a women's issue, and of course, we're all affected by each other's health.
Yes,
And
exactly.
there's no problem in asking questions of issues to help your friends and colleagues. So
yeah,
I'm really excited, and I have to contain my enthusiasm.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you again at the end of the month and opening up this conversation.
Great. So if you're looking for a ticket to the virtual Pilates Summit, you can head to our Facebook page of the Movement Refinery and click through the event. You can purchase a single session for the Peri Project Friday evening on the 26th of June for $79, or you can purchase a day pass, which is 4 sessions and up to 2 workouts for only $150. So great value, and you don't have to travel for this. It's in the comfort of your home or studio or wherever you have a great internet connection. Kirsten, thanks so much for coming along today.
Thanks, Nick. We'll see you
See you all
soon.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.